Hi, my name is Les Gelb. I'm president of the Council on Foreign Relations, and Homeland Security is a passion with me and a passion with the Council on Foreign Relations. The purpose of this video is to help you get ready to think about what you need to do to pay attention for the emergencies that might occur in the event of a terrorist attack. You've heard a lot about all this recently from Homeland Security Secretary Tom Ridge, and you ought to pay attention to that. What we're trying to do in this video is to tell you what we do here at the Council to prepare ourselves and the people we work with, and to help them prepare for their family and loved ones. I hope this will be helpful.
Most of the things that I think institutions and individuals should be doing are things that make good sense to do even if we didn't have a terrorist attack. They have dual benefits. If we have a blizzard, if we have a tornado or a hurricane or other major natural disaster or man-made disaster, increasingly in this just-in-time life we live, where we wait for the last minute to go an ATM machine or the last minute to fill up our gas tanks, and we expect communications to be at our fingertips, the facts are that occasionally those things are going to be disrupted for potentially a period of days. The kinds of attacks we're going to have are likely to be targeted at civilians and the critical infrastructure that underpins our economy, because the goal is to create mass disruption. The kinds of weapons to be used were probably the highest probability is the kinds of high explosives like we saw in the Oklahoma City bombing. Then chemical and biological are also increasingly readily available, and so an adversary may have their hands on those as well. Less probabilistic, but obviously more frightening, is the use of a dirty bomb, taking atomic energy components and then mixing it into an explosive and spreading it, or the ultimate nightmare, which is an atomic weapon itself detonating somewhere in the United States. What we have to realize is the terrorists that we will confront are not supermen. Their attacks will be horrific for those who are in the immediate vicinity of those attacks, but they won't have broad sweeping impact likely beyond potentially a few city blocks or taking out a critical node in infrastructure. This will be profoundly disruptive for anybody who is in that area. And so the key in thinking about what do we do to cope with this amorphous threat is largely about being able to ride out the disruption that will come from these events. If you're in the crosshairs of the actual attack itself, there's probably not much that can be done to protect yourself. But again, these are likely to be localized kinds of incidences, though they could have real ripple effects, like bringing down our financial sector for a while, shutting down ATM machines, closing down highways and bridges, and being able to cope and not be a part of the problem that is part of the chaos that comes out of these events is, I think, the biggest reason why institutions and individuals should take some precautions to be able to deal with these threats, to be able to ride out the disruption so they're not contributing to the pressure on the first responders that may already be overwhelmed coping with the immediate victims of these events.